Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to be checking out Thinktanku from Michael Milano. This is for 3 to 8 players, ages 13 plus, and you'll play it for as long as you want to play it. And in Thinktanku, one person each round is going to be taking control of a CEO of a big company. They're going to be trying to figure out the best way to make a movie or an app or a product or a restaurant or something like that. And everyone else is going to be writing down responses. Are you going to try and be witty, or are you going to try and be serious and have the best answer? Well, you're going to be trying to gain a certain number of victory points in this party game. But is it good? Let's open it up, check it out. Alright, then we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Thinktanku. Now, as I always like to mention, this is a promotional copy I have in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt. This is actually the print and play copy of the game, so the one that gets to you will be much nicer and shinier. So first and foremost, we have a handy-dandy rule sheet. It is 2 pages, double-sided, and it is a very, very simple game, and it'll have you up and running in no time at all. Very well done rule booklet. And to be all honest, you're only going to need that part right there, and then this is just alternate ways to play the game, which I'll talk some about those in my final thoughts on the game. So, what do we got inside? First and foremost, you're going to get 2 different sets of cards. You're going to get white cards, which are going to have some different categories on them, like movies and restaurants and apps, websites, products, various different things, and we'll get more to those in a second. And then you're going to have spice, which are actually a way for other people to catch up to the leader without making it feel like it's such a catch-up AI function. So it doesn't feel quite as cheap as something that would normally help you catch up to the leader. I'm not sure if you're going to get a sand timer, but probably will, because you're going to have 1 minute to write down your response. I'm not sure if it's going to come with notepads, but they put a notepad there for me, but you're going to need more than one of those because everyone's going to be writing down their answers. So, how does the game work? Well, it's very, very simple. Essentially, you are going to be playing as a CEO of the company. You're going to take turns playing as a CEO of a company, and then you are going to ask one of these questions right here. Now, everyone else is going to be trying to think up the best answer for that question, the best answer for a movie or an app or a product or whatever it is. Now, the CEO is then going to decide which one they like the best, be it the most funniest, be it the best answer that is the most fitting. What am I talking about? I'll show you a mock one, and then we'll see how it works. So let's just say that I'm the CEO of the first round, and I read this one. It says, movies. So I'd read this aloud, and I said, please create a name and an optional tagline for a movie about a sports star who must come to terms with a mistake that could cost them their job. So now, everyone's going to have a second to think. We're going to flip over the sand timer, and now everyone's going to have 1 minute to write down their answer to this. So, as you can see, these are somewhat difficult. I got one. I was actually just talking to my friend Phil about this. So mine would be the Andrew Bynum story. And Andrew Bynum is a basketball player who I don't believe has a job right now, who is notorious for sleeping with his assistant coach's wife. And then he got kicked off the team for sleeping with her wife. So I'm going to be the Andrew Bynum story. One man's wife is another man's pink slip. And that would be the name of my game. Now, obviously, if someone didn't get the reference, then I'm going to have a miserable failure on my hands. But if you're playing to the CEO, who maybe knows a little bit about basketball, knows what happened, then that would probably be a really good one to win. But you can go with just about any sport you want, any tagline you want. But you see, a minute is a pretty long time to do it. So, moving on, we'll do another one so we can get restaurants. Please create a name and an optional tagline for a gourmet bubblegum tasting bar. Okay, we'll flip the sand timer, and I have a minute to do this. A gourmet bubblegum tasting bar. Blow and go. Not just for Craigslist. No. What's a better tagline? Okay, I would say blow and go, your one-stop shop for everything blow-worthy. Or, I don't know. But anywho, as you can see, some of the questions lend themselves to humorous answers, and also you can play it completely clean if you'd like as well. But I'll go some more over these cards, then I'll tell you about how the spice cards work. So we'll go over the movies. Please create a name and an optional tagline for a movie about a pair of best friends and roommates who must navigate the roller coaster of college, dealing with boyfriends, grades, and more. Please create a name and an optional tagline for a cat collar that has a built-in chime controlled by a remote to help locate your cat. Please create a name and an optional tagline for an inexpensive Chinese restaurant run by university students. Please create a name and an optional tagline for a website for people who love mayonnaise. So as you can see, you're going to have quite a bit of these, and hopefully there'll be even more in the game. But anywho, whoever has the best response is going to gain this card, which will give you a victory point. And depending on how many players you have, you'll go to a different number of victory points. Now, once you do that, you're going to start introducing the spice cards right here. And these are going to go to whoever is in first place. If there's a tie, nobody gets one. But you'll do that, you'll put it down in front of you, and then when it gets to your turn, you will read your question right there, but then you will also read the spice card. So please create a name and an optional tagline for a smartwatch shaped like a pocket watch, but your response must contain the name of a player at the table. So you would have to mesh those two into one response, at which point the CEO would then once again pick who the winner is, and then that person would get both of these cards. So essentially, whoever's in first place is actually going to, next time it gets them to be the CEO, they're going to be awarding 2 victory points instead of 1, so it kind of lets other people have an opportunity to catch up to them. So that, in a nutshell, is how Thinktanku is played. Alrighty then, Thinktanku from Michael Milano, coming to a Kickstarter near you very, very soon. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for a lot of people. There's a couple big reasons why. First and foremost, it is a party game. Some people just don't want light party games. There's no real strategy here aside from play to the judge, and this is one of those games where the judge is going to decide who gets points. And some people just don't like that game because they think that they can swing one way or the other because someone else won't want somebody else to win. And if you play with people like that in a party game, well, then find a new group of friends to play with, first and foremost. But anyway, that's going to be a turn-off to some people. Also, this is a game that's going to be very niche. You need to have a group of creative friends who can think fast on their toes. Some people are really, really bad at this game and will really hate this game. My wife, in particular, is one of those people. She loathed this game because she didn't like the fact that she was timed and she was having to think of something that was both creative and funny and fit the answer correctly, or at least 2 of those 3 things, and I think a lot of people are going to feel that way. A game like this is a very niche game in that capacity. Also, I wish there was more cards in general, and hopefully that's just something that is indicative of the print and play. So hopefully when the final version gets to you, it will have more cards and such like that. Another thing is you have to write down your answers, at least for the base game. Some people aren't going to like that. It does have catch-up mechanics in there where you give out the spice cards, which is going to turn off some people. But the main one is that this is a party game, and this is a party game for creative people, which is not going to be for everyone. Moving on to the pros, though. If you watch the middle part of the video, you pretty much know this game is going to be for you. And if you're still here, I can definitely recommend this game. It is fun. Now, I wish it was a little bit dirtier. That's just me personally. And the thing is, you can make this game dirtier. They give you cards, which is one thing I like. At least they had them in the print play where you can include more spice or more of the white cards where you can pretty much ask your own questions or make different spice cards. I like that an awful lot. But this game reminds me of another game called, I think it was like Why Did the Chicken Cross the, where you're creating punchlines to jokes. And I feel like if you enjoyed that game, you're really going to like this game. You have to be creative, you have to be able to think on your toes, but if you have a gaming group or a casual play group that can do that, this game might be for you. One other thing I forgot to mention in the cons, though, is this is obviously not a game night game. You're not going to bust this out on game night, or else people are going to be like, what is this? This is definitely more of a casual get-together, maybe have a couple drinks type of game, which isn't going to be for everybody. But I did. I liked the game. It was fun. We had some laughs. We tried a couple rounds of each of the different alternate variants, and some of them really change the gameplay, which I like. A lot of times when you get alternate variants on how to play, it just tweaks things here or there. But there are some really, really different ways to play this game, and I like the fact they included them. One of my personal favorites, I think it was the Pitch Me Johnny one, where you have to, you get to pitch your idea and then defend it and then talk to the CEO for 1 minute, and I like that one an awful lot. It really, especially if you're trying to think of it while you're trying to convince him at the same time, or her at the same time, it can be a lot of fun. So, overall, Thinktanku. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be for a lot of people, but if it looks like it might be for you, I'll probably tell you it probably is for you, because it was a lot of fun for me and my group, aside from my wife and Yeah. But anywho, if you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below and also check out the Kickstarter link below. And in the comments below, let me know, is this your kind of game? Do you like to be pressured? Do you like real-time games? I think that's the question I'm asking here. Do you like real-time games where you have a set amount of time to accomplish a goal? Or do you just think that's too stressful and you play games to ease stress after a long, hard day? Me personally, I love real-time games. I love the pressure, like, oh, I need to get this done right now. I also like the fact that you have to be funny. But anywho, let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on it? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. That was the review for Think Tank You. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.